today's video we are going to talk about the computer memories. In the previous video we have discussed about the memory unit. Okay, so now let us see what are the different kind of categories of the computer memory. Memory can be broadly classified into three categories. One is primary memory, secondary memory and the cache memory. So let's see one by one. What do you mean by primary memory? Computer memories which are directly accessed by the processor are called the primary memory. Primary memory can be classified into two categories. One is RAM, another is ROM. RAM can further classified into two categories. One is static RAM, another is dynamic RAM. ROM can be further classified into three categories: PROM, EPROM, and the third one is the EEPROM. Okay, so let's see each and everything in detail. RAM, it stands for the random access memory. It is volatile in nature. It is volatile in nature in the sense whatever the data is stored in the RAM, it will be erased once the computer is shut down. So once we will turn on the computer, we cannot retain the contents of the RAM, and that is why it is called volatile in nature. It can be accessed from any desired location, as it has, from the name only we can understand it is random access memory. It can be accessed from any memory address. Okay, it is a read write memory. That means we can write, we can update the existing data, or we can delete the existing data. Fine. And at the same time we can fetch the stored data. The normal access time of RAM is 20 to 80 nanoseconds, and it is again broadly classified into two categories. One is SRAM and the DRAM. SRAM stands for the static random access memory. It is made up of flip-flops. It does not require refreshing. It is expensive and faster. If we talk about DRAM, it stands for the dynamic random access memory. It is made up of transistors and capacitors. If we see both the things, we can understand SRAM is made up of flip-flops, whether DRAM is made up of transistor and the capacitor. It is continuously refreshed, and this consumes lot of processor time. Why is refreshing is required? It requires refreshing because a capacitor tends to lose charge over a period of time, which need to be refreshed again and again. I repeat, it requires refreshing because a capacitor tends to lose charge over a period of time, which need to be refreshed again and again. It is cheaper and slower than SRAM. Now let us see ROM. ROM is volatile memory. Volatile in the sense of if the computer is switched off, then also we can retain the content of ROM. It is read-only memory, means once the content is stored, we cannot delete or modify the content of the ROM. The contents of ROM are written by the manufacturer. So while the ROM is being manufactured, at that point of time only the programs or the instructions are written onto the ROM. Fine. Now let's see what are the types of ROM. Okay, before I proceed to the types of the ROM, let me tell you instructions that are needed to start the computer are also stored in the ROM. Okay, now let's see the types of the ROM. PROM stands for the programmable read-only memory. Now here we have to understand what is the difference between ROM and PROM. The significant difference between a ROM and PROM is that ROM comes with pre-written instructions or programs by the computer manufacturer, whereas PROM manufactured as blank memory, then it can be programmed by PROM burner. Now let's talk about the EPROM. It stands for the erasable programmable ROM. It retains its content until and unless it is exposed to intense ultraviolet light that clears its contents, making it possible to reprogram the memory. Next is EEPROM. It stands for the electrically erasable programmable ROM. Its contents can be erased and then reprogrammed using the electric signals. Nowadays, RAM and EEPROM both are integrated together. Okay. Next comes what the cache memory. It is made up of SRAM. We have already discussed about the SRAM. It holds frequently used data and instructions. That means whatever the data and instructions are frequently required by the processor, all are stored in the cache memory. It is placed between the CPU and main memory. Whenever some data is required, what the CPU does basically first is looks for the cache, whether the data is present in the cache or not. If the data is found in the cache, then it is called what the cache hit, and if the data is not found in the cache, then it is called what the cache miss. Okay, now the cache memory, there are three levels: level 1, level 2 and the level 3. Let's see what is the level 1. Level 1 basically it is built into the processor only. Level 2, that is what located outside the processor and separated from the CPU chip core, but it is found within the same CPU chip package. We will see the diagram, then the concept will be much more clear. L3 cache, it is mounted onto the motherboard. Every CPU core has a different L1 cache, L2 cache, but L3 cache is shared. To understand this thing, let's take a diagram. So this is what the diagram, this is what the secondary memory, then comes the random access memory, after that the level 3 shared cache memory, and these are the different cores. We have taken an example of a microprocessor where there are 4 CPUs are there. So every CPU have their own level 1 cache memory and level 2 cache memory. They will have a own level 1 and the level 2 cache memory. As I have already told you, the level 1 is the part of the CPU only, and if you talk about the level 2, it is not within the CPU, but it is within the CPU package only. It is within the package, it is available within the CPU chip package. But if you talk about the level 3 is the shared cache memory, means every CPU core is going to share this level 3 cache memory. Okay, so what happens whenever the CPU is looking for the data, first it will look for the level 1 cache memory. It is very much closer to the CPU, but the size is very smaller, and the access time, that is called what the latency time, it is very less. Now let's talk about the level 2. The size of the level 2 is comparatively higher than the level 2, but the CPU access time, that is what the latency time, it is higher. Okay, again if you talk about the level 3, the size of the level 3 is higher, but the CPU access time, that is what the latency time of the level 3 shared access memory, is higher in comparison to rest of the level of cache memory. Okay, so if the data is found in any of the cache, that is what called the cache hit. If it is not available, then it is called what the cache miss. Okay, so here we have seen the cache memory. Next is what the secondary memory. It is volatile in nature. That means the data is stored permanently, and if you turn off the computer, then also the data can be retained after that also. Okay, storage capacity is very high. It is read-write memory. It is portable. That means we can carry it also. Secondary memory is broadly classified into 3 categories, and all these 3 categories are well known to us. We use in our day-to-day life. Magnetic secondary memory, it is floppy disk we have used earlier. Now it is no longer in use. Magnetic tapes, and hard disk. We are quite familiar with the hard disk. Next is what your optical secondary memory, that is what the CD, DVD and the Blu-ray disk. Solid state, if you talk about pen drive, is the best example. Okay, so this is what the secondary memory. Students, here we have finished the different type of computer memories. So if you have any query, please do write down into the comment box, but don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you students for your patience.